It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Quinn restaurant, Lincoln and Landis Avenue in Vineland. And I have Mayor Anthony Fanucci with me. Mayor, good to see you.
Great to see you too, Jim. Thank you.
You're welcome. I was just telling the mayor, I was talking to the mayor of Seattle City, that I had a summer home in Seattle City for about 30 years and loved the place. And of course, I don't now. But I know you know, one of the things too, Mayor, I know you like Lenny, doesn't
Oh, I love Lenny. Yeah, phenomenal human being.
And the other thing I realized is there's some similarity with Vineland and Seattle. Tell everybody what that is.
So really, Sea Isle is our sister city, also founded by Charles Landis, a little bit past Vineland. Number of streets are named exactly the same names, like Landis Avenue, right, for instance. And of course, they have. You know, I'm a little biased, right, because I love Lenny, but I think he's a phenomenal mayor and does a great job down there. And he's got a good council that works with him, and a lot of great people in his public departments there all the way around. And frankly, how many of our friends from Vineland have a second home down there?
Many.
It is many. It's very much little Vineland over there. Yeah. So, you know, you're away from home, but you're not too far away from home.
And you have lots of friends. You'll see while you're down there. But
Lenny does a happy hour in the summer, in the mornings, and it's on Saturday mornings. They start a little bit early, and it's all Vineland. And I happen to be down the shore over the summer, and it was a little too early for me to start, but I decided to stop in and see everybody, and there must have been 60, 65 people from home there, and some people drove down from home just to go, and then drive back, you know, but the majority of them either have a second home or are staying at, you know, those weeks in Seattle.
I love Seattle, I really do. And, I had a lot of good things. And the one thing I want to tell everybody about Lenny, he is one of the few elected officials in the state of New Jersey that holds dual office. And what he did, where he was smart, was they were in a stupid form of government like Millville currently has, the commission form of government. And there was only 3 of them on the commission at the time. And then, to their credit, they finally went to the mayor-council form of government. There's 5 councilmen and the mayor, Lenny. And the good thing that they were able to do for Lenny's sake is they kept the election in May. So therefore, he is the mayor of Seattle City. His election is in May every 4 years. And now he had been for quite a while on the freeholder board, which is now county commission board. He is now the chairman of the county commissioners board for Cape County as well. So he holds 2 very important positions and does a great job with both of them.
Did you ever hold dual office, Jim, in your years?
Did. Okay. No, I guess we weren't. No, I went from county or Millville mayor, and then I was there first, I'm sorry, I started out as county freeholder when you were a little boy. 1982, I started as a freeholder. And then I got Joe Condon putting on the show.
Oh, fantastic.
Next Thursday he's coming on. And it was so neat. He and I have something in common. I won from 1982 to 1991. I lost in the Florio backlash. He won in the Florio backlash and came to county and became director. And I was director in 90 in Cumberland. He was director in 91.
How about that?
So we had some really neat things.
Joe's a great guy too.
He really
like Joe an awful lot.
He's done a super job with the campaign. In the last 3 years, he's done fabulous.
Frankly, I mean, he was something that the Republican Party, for what it was worth, needed in addition to really assist the chairman in the duties and the roles that are going on. You have a great support staff, and it's like building a team, like an athletic team, right? Sometimes you just need one more key player. Well, he was really a great add-on, and over the last several years, I've gotten to know Joe pretty well, and I really enjoy our conversations. And one of the greatest things about him is the fact that he's so frank and candid with you. There's not sugarcoating involved in any of it. So it's great when you have very real speak with someone.
I think what surprised me, he's a patent lawyer in Philadelphia. And I watch Shark Tank, so I send all the people there. But anyway, let's talk about the big news, big story-making action news in Vineland. is Frank Edwardi. Tell everybody who Frank Edwardi is.
So that's Pinelands Recycling and Construction from down the shore from Sea Isle area, who has been the successful bidder that won our most recent trash contract. And so far, so good. They've been doing a fantastic job in the city of Vineland. Some minor hurdles here and there because their people are learning our streets and so forth, but really just a massive step up from where we have left off. You know, unfortunately, the ACUA wasn't able to live up to the expectations that we had set the last couple years, and it was a very big challenge for us. However, we were obligated contractually with certain things. We tried to work things out with them and give them some opportunity, but they couldn't handle it, and I'm not sure what the overall struggles were internally on why they couldn't perform to the standard that we needed, but it was what it was. We had a hybrid of what we wanted to put out there. We put a number of levels of bids out to secure services for the city. This was the group that I had won that, and so far, knock on wood, so good.
Yeah, I hear great things about Frank. In fact, speaking of Frank Edwardi, he's a councilman in Sea Isle City.
Yep.
And he has the Ocean City contract, and I think he has one in Cape May in that area. So he's got experience, and I know he does a lot of business with dumpsters. So anybody that, in fact, the Millville Motorsports Park, New Jersey Motorsports Park, Tricia, one of his secretaries, a friend of mine, and they contacted the Millville New Jersey Motorsports Park, and they got their dumpster contract because they were better as far as price was concerned than what they were paying.
How about that? Okay.
You know, stays there as well for people.
Good.
But I'm glad you.
A lot of opportunity in Cumberland County for someone.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's working out for you
Thank
guys.
you.
Now, let me ask you something. There's been a lot of controversy in Millville recently because they now have a utility tax or fee for the trash, which we hadn't had before. Somebody said Vineland has one. Do you have one?
Yes. Some number of years ago, they separated the trash rate out of the property tax rate, and we have it so it's itemized and you can see exactly what it is on your bill. So so a lot of people have that very confused. They think that property taxes is footing the bill for the trash utility. Some people think property taxes and the fee that are on there are both supporting the trash utility. It's not that way. We have a solid waste utility. It's its own separate division, has its own budget, and therefore it is appropriately disclosed what the fees are. But there's no profit, obviously, because we're self-liquidating as a non-for-profit. You know, we pay for the trash service, and then the other portions we have to pay the tipping fees to the county landfill. So the county gets a good portion of that for the disposal of the trash as well. Do you know what Millville's rate is?
Yeah, I just paid it. It's $60 a quarter.
60 a quarter, so $20 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. And is the ACUA still hauling for that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know what their contract looks like and how long it is, and if there's escalators in it.
It's funny. Like I've talked to friends of mine. Of course, I live alone. I probably could only use trash once a month because I have such little bit of trash.
Right.
Yeah, I do recycle. That every other week we get recycling, and that works out pretty well.
So you recycle twice a month, not?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So twice a month. And how often is trash pickup?
Every week.
Every week, so once a week.
Yeah, you guys used to do twice a week.
We did, and it was just, we tried to get away from that to assist and keep costs down. Yeah. And frankly, those 96-gallon toters hold a lot of trash and recycling. So that's interesting. You guys are basically at $20 a month, and you have 2 less recycling days than we do, and the same amount of trash days that we do, with a smaller territory. I think we're probably $6 or $8 a month more, and that's it. So I have a feeling that if that ramps up again, that Millville's probably going to be looking for some outside provider. ACUA was good in the beginning price-wise, and then they just escalated up.
Did you say, speaking of trash, there was 11 communities I read about that did the shared service?
Correct. Yes, and listen, for those smaller areas, it makes a lot of sense, right? Oh, yeah. And, you know, and some of the parts people that don't know here in the city is I still remember when we had no municipal trash pickup. I grew up right down the street here from the Quinn restaurant on Landis Avenue. We had no pickup on this side of town. You know, everybody thinks that East Vineland is always so spoiled. It wasn't always that way. We had to pay for our own trash hauler at that time. And I remember the gentleman like it was yesterday, Zachary Higginbotham. And that's who, my mom had contracted with to pick up our trash. We used to have to drive to the dump. So we would go to So we would go to, I would go with my older brother and go to the dump, every weekend with, trash and stuff like that. But then when he moved out and moved away, it was difficult. And it was just my mom, my sister, and I. And I didn't have my license yet. And then when I got my license, we had like one car we shared between the three of us in the household. And it wasn't a car that you could get to the dump with. So that's when we got Mr. Higginbotham to come in. And we were paying the trash rate to him to go. So people don't always know the history. They like to comment and spout off every now and again, but there's a little bit of history everywhere, and that was one of them. But right now we service the whole city. That is, dedicated streets and roads of the city, other than private communities and not commercial. Pinelands is doing a really, really good job. We're sorry things didn't work out with the previous hauler. But unfortunately, our goal was to protect the residents at all costs, and no matter what it is. So we had to make a move.
Well, the good thing about
it is.
This is his livelihood. This is what he's doing.
Correct. And what we did was we went out and we bought our own fleet. So we own our trucks, so we now can control our destiny, much better than what we could before, because you were at the mercy of another hauler. And we had an issue leading into New Year's where ACUA missed, for like areas for like 2-3 weeks in a row, mine included. So when somebody asks and thinks that mine was picked up, it was not. And when they missed all that, it became an issue. They ended up coming out and getting some trash, but then they missed all the recycling when New Year's Day comes. Well, now their contract has expired. We've been calling, no return call, no return email, nothing over the holiday. We had most of our new fleet in. We're still waiting on some trucks to be delivered. And we organized with our crews through my service providers with Public Works Director, Jimmy Neer, Jeff Celebree, who's our supervisor of all the vehicles and vehicle maintenance, and our Bobby D, of course, our administrator, right? So we put together, they got a crew to come in, a team of people. We took our trucks out. I went out with a pickup truck with Jeff, and we went and our crews did the entire remaining portion of the city that needed to get done ourselves. We talked to the Improvement Authority, and they were kind enough to work with us and open for a couple hours that day so we could dump, which we're very grateful for that. It was extremely important. And, and that was something. And I was out with the guys for, quite a while doing that. So, yeah.
We're talking with Mayor Anthony Fanucci on the Insight program. We'll be back right after these messages.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high-quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Life puts a lot of demands on us. There's our jobs, there's community and charity projects, our friends and the demands of the family,
Happy birthday!
birthdays and homework, the upkeep and maintenance of our homes, cars and possessions. Maybe it's time to really weigh out the things of greater importance, our relationship with God. Let us help you. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. Katrina, thank you for that note. And Ryan, the producer, did put new batteries in my microphone, so hopefully you can all hear me now. So I know it's the mayor's show, but I got to have a little bit of it here and there. But
we need you, Jim.
Well, we need you.
Thank you.
It's so neat to see. I remember,
and you were on council, and then, you became the mayor when they built the apartments at Landis and East.
Yeah.
And I remember people, nobody's going to want to live. They have a waiting list of 100, 200 people. Beautiful facility, beautiful. And now, where are we on the Newcomb?
The first phase is open at Newcomb.
Is it
full?
Wow. Yeah, probably got a waiting list there too, right?
Yeah, they're getting ready to do. There's phase 2 that goes there, and then we'll be looking at some other areas in the city too. And I have to say, Hans has done a really great job with those developments. Yeah,
I really think.
Yeah. I mean, people don't realize that seniors really need a place to be and a place to live that is comfortable, that is safe, that has some activities, and it has accessibility to, main arteries to get to the grocery store or the hospital or, the shoe store or Wawa for that matter. It could be anything, and he's done a very good job.
Speaking of the hospital, congratulations. You're finally getting taxes. Huh? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so huge thanks goes to Amy Manso.
She's a sweetheart.
She's a wonderful lady, very professional.
Very much so, yeah.
And we've been able to finally get things worked out and a program that makes sense for both the hospital system and the city. So a lot of hard work went into that with all the attorneys, including like Rick Tonetta, our solicitor, Brian Conover, my tax assessor, who put a lot of help professionally into this because he knows this obviously very well, and to Amy and her team. But Amy, I have to say, was very committed in working with us and not against us. And that was extremely helpful because we do provide a lot of service back to them. You know, of course, ambulances divert right there immediately.
Yep, absolutely.
Whenever there's a problem, fire steps up. Whenever they need police, we're right there constantly. You know, and people don't realize that there are services that are provided that, you know, they needed to pitch in for. So, and I'm very grateful for the relationship, and you know, and I wish her all the best.
Yeah, what a phenomenal person. And it's interesting because I've spent a lot of time at the hospital for different problems I've had, physical. And I said to her, Amy, I don't know who does your hiring, but to me, it's the best staff, whatever it may be, from the custodian to the nurse to the doctors. Great people, they really are.
I agree with you 100%.
You know, we are so lucky to have that in Vineland.
Yes, we are.
You know, we really are.
They've been very good to my mom there.
Oh, that's good.
You know, fortunately or unfortunately, they end up there at some point. And they were great to mom. You know, on a number of occasions, and even when mom went through a round of heart failure, they were able to stabilize her, get her comfortable, and get her really prepped and ready to go until they could get her moved to Penn Presbyterian, where they specialize in the procedure she needed, especially at her age. But they were so kind here, extremely caring, just overwhelming, with support and positive messages. And that, you're right, that came from the custodial staff, nurses. Speak for themselves because they're incredible.
Fabulous. They are incredible.
The doctors, I mean, they were great.
Yeah,
her ER doc was Sandy Forsiski's son.
I realized that.
Which
That
he
is
was
neat.
fantastic with my mom.
Oh, that's fabulous.
You know, my mom's a wonderful lady, but she can be tough. And you know, so it was just really good experiences. And of course, I've had my own experiences where I've had to be here. And the docs and the nurses that I've had to deal with for my own self personally have been excellent as well. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, I am too, and I thank God it's so close by for the treatments or whatever we have to do. And I've just been dealing with Dr. Roy in the oncology and hematology department.
He's the best.
That's a woman. She's
Okay, Dr. Roy's wife. You're right. So she's the one, Southern.
Yeah.
Yes. So her husband and I just were together because he does some general stuff, some infectious stuff, and some other things. And we were talking about it, and I didn't realize it was his wife that was there. But I see Omar.
Oh, okay.
Lutwani.
Right.
Yeah. And it was great. And I said, wait. I said, who's the Dr. Roy that's here? He said, well, that's my wife. I said, no kidding.
Okay.
And I believe, and people should know this, that her education, I think, is Yale or Harvard.
Yale.
Yale,
Yeah,
right?
I was just going to say that. I looked her up because obviously she's helping me with my problems.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, Yale, and they're the number 6 cancer center for the United States. I mean, and what a wonderful person.
And the other partner is Harvard.
Yeah.
So, and which might be
right.
Omar.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So I couldn't remember because her husband and I were literally just talking about this, and he's a neat guy. Very well educated, multiple businesses, different things, and we were at a fundraising event. We had dinner together. We were talking about what was here, and he was the one that told me that yes, that she was Yale and her partner was Harvard.
Yeah.
And you know, so people want to discount some things once in a while.
You know what was interesting too? I have 3 really good friends that are doctors: Dr. Baptist, Dr. Shields, and Dr. Atiam. We're like buddies. We have text and call. It's wonderful because they get back to me and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And each one of them said to me, on my case situation, they said, Jim, you get a second opinion at University of Pennsylvania, Abrams Center. I said, okay. So I love Dr. Roy. Well, I go in and she goes, Jim, I'm going to get you a second opinion. I never had to ask. She got it set up. She got the appointment. Went up and saw Dr. Cook at University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Just super people. I mean, you know, and it's been very good. And again, we're so lucky to have this right in Vineland. It's here.
Believe me,
Talent, you know?
people really, again, they discount it. And listen, not everybody has a great experience. And listen, nobody really wants to go to a hospital, right?
Exactly.
And sometimes there are things that lack. But I have to say, in the specialist care that is here and that specialty stuff, they do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And I know a number of our friends, you know, that have been to that particular center and they've done great by them. So, yeah, that's ironic that she's your doc. And I was talking with her husband Sunday.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, good people. They really
very, very, very.
We're talking with Mayor Anthony Fanucci on the Insight program, and Yilmaz Kankel is going to come join us about 7:15 to tell us about a new venture he's got going for him. And we'll do all that right after these messages.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Life puts a lot of demands on us. There's our jobs, those community and charity projects, our friends, and the demands of the family,
Happy birthday.
birthdays and homework, the upkeep and maintenance of our homes, cars, and possessions. Maybe it's time to really weigh out the things of greater importance, our relationship with God. Let us help you. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
Welcome back to the Insight program. Jim Quinn along with Mayor Anthony Fanucci from the great city of Vineland, and lots of good things happening. And just, I keep hearing about this new restaurant, La Vita, is it the one that's
over on Main Road, Main Street Shopping Center?
Has that shopping center and all that. Yeah, I hear that. Of course, I was at, where I very dope, but I like it. 5 Points recently. I know that's in Buena Vista Township.
Yep.
And of course, Borghi's, and I've been going to Fazzolari's. You ever look at that?
Oh yeah, sure.
That's nice. Yeah, they do a nice job too.
We have a lot of great places around us.
We do.
Within 10 minutes to eat. So we're very fortunate, and it's one of the things we talk to some of the new businesses that are coming into Vineland, and building out either in the industrial park or in other areas, and one of the first things they ask is, aside from how are the schools, right? If they want to move here, is hey, where do you go to eat? What's good here, right? So we have a number of places, and it's great to let them know there's so many options. And speaking of which, we've had so many expansions happening in the industrial park, a number of new companies coming in. our marketing efforts are just really paying dividends now. Over the last 7 years, we put that marketing plan in place where we've had, I'm sure you've seen the TV commercials and the social media ads and stuff. We've been really taking advantage of that, and the notoriety has been incredible. So
yeah, that's wonderful. And I know that the promotions you've been doing really reach out and help bring people here. And it's such a great location. And the other good thing is that we haven't talked too much about is how well you and your council get along. You work together, which is wonderful. And your election's May? Or
no, we're November. Yeah.
Presidential.
They moved it back in, oh, goodness. I want to say it was 2009, 10 maybe, sometime back then. They moved that, maybe 9. I think it was 2009. Yeah. It got moved to a general election. They moved everything, school board, all 9, which I don't necessarily agree with. I know they talk about the election savings, but you take nonpartisan elections and make them partisan.
Yeah, and if they had the May, you could be something else besides the marijuana.
I am something else.
You got a lot on your plate this year to do as well.
Yes, sir.
But you talked about Bobby Dickinson and just what a great young. I knew Bobby when he was a little later, and he was one of the best pitchers on the team that we beat. His team and my team, we played, against each other and things like that, but it worked out.
Bobby's a great guy, hard worker.
His mother's a sweetheart.
Oh, Sally's the best. Yeah, she's a great lady.
Yeah.
And they do. He works very hard for me. The city is very lucky to have a guy like that in a business administrator's role. He's got so much real experience from being in the city and working in so many departments over his career. And he takes a lot of pride in his work, and he takes a lot of pride in working in our administration. And I'm very fortunate and blessed to have him as part of the team. I am just really.
You do. Keith Petrosky, this guy's amazing. That guy is the most organized person I've ever met in my life. Does a fantastic job.
All my directors really do a great job in our form of government. As you know, with the Faulkner Act, we have our key positions, and I'm very fortunate with the team that we assembled because they really represent the city very well. They work cohesively together. They understand our mission. Council is very good with me, as I with them, because I understand their role as I served there, for a term as the council president, and they give me a lot of latitude, and they have trust and faith in my decision making and my vision, and I'm grateful for that because the fruits of that have paid off over the last 7 years, moving into my 8th year, now as mayor, where people are looking at it and saying, wow, what a transformation Vineland has made.
Yes, it has.
And I say, listen, in our role, as you know, when you're the figurehead, you take the credit and you take the sword, right?
Yeah.
And
a lot more credit than sword.
Yeah, these days, you're right. I'll take it. So, and council knows that. I'm very grateful because they have a very vital role in our form of government, and they care. They all care. And I think when you're on the same page and your goal commonly is not your ego. It's people are like, oh, is it Team Fanucci? I'm like, it's Team Vineland.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, when it's political season, it's Team Fanucci. But at the end of the day, we are Team Vineland, and that's what it's all about here. And we're fortunate, like Senator Testa, who's in our backyard here, who has worked very well with our administration and helping us with a lot of different issues through Trenton, through his staff, who's really done a great job for us, and we're very grateful for that relationship and friendship as well, because we couldn't succeed without all levels of government. County government is really going through its changes now, and there's always been like that little separation between us and the county,
right?
And I know they look at us as the state of Vineland sometimes because of the big chip we have on our shoulder, rightfully so. And you're pumping $48 million out there,
you should have it. Chip on your shoulder.
Exactly. So we've talked about that, but we have some real great synergies now, and our directors communicating with their directors and engineers, and a lot of things happening these days. So and it's taken a while to cultivate that relationship.
Well, and you got great Hal Johnson. My God, you don't get any better.
Hal's a great guy.
He really is.
Yeah.
And of course, Senator Testa's put together a great team, and they're that 7-0 Republican now for the first time in a long time, I'm sure. And I really like the people that are running, and the senator's credit, he's gotten some great candidates who are now serving as county commissioners, and that type of thing. And in fact, Tori Lodes does a program about the county.
Yes, I saw it. When did I just watch that? Was it within the last day or so?
She just did one Tuesday, right?
Yeah, today's Thursday. So the last couple of days. I'm losing track, Jim.
Yeah, no. Well, you got a lot of.
It's all this gray hair.
Well, you look good. I'm going to let you get out of here.
Thank you.
Take care of your daughter.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's always great to see you.
Too,
thank you very
God
much.
Bless you. Keep
Yeah,
up the
thank
good
you.
work. We'll be back with the Yilmaz Kankel, the owner of the beautiful Quinn restaurant here at Lincoln Atlantis and Vineland, right after these messages.
Life puts a lot of demands on us. There's our jobs, those community and charity projects, our friends and the demands of the family,
Happy birthday.
birthdays and homework, the upkeep and maintenance of our homes, cars and possessions. Maybe it's time to really weigh out the things of greater importance, our relationship with God. Let us help you. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Are you just part of the crowd?
Do you feel isolated and alone?
Do you wish someone would see your gifts?
Would you like to be seen as an individual?
A person of value.
Full of life and purpose. Part of a family that cares?
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
Welcome back to the Quinn restaurant, Lincoln Atlantis and Vineland. Unfortunately, Yilmaz is tied up. He can't come on with us this evening. But I do want to give you some information about the Quinn restaurant. Sunday night, I was here with a friend of mine, and we took advantage of this special, 2 for $15. I had roast turkey with stuffing and some of the most delicious spinach I've ever had. My gosh, it was fabulous. And I had my salad, and then I had rice pudding for dessert. All of that for $15. My buddy that was with me, he had a giant dish of homemade lasagna. It was phenomenal. That was his meal, and he had salad, of course, with that, and a dessert, and again, just $15. So it was $30 and a couple dollars for taxes. But it was a total meal. I mean, think about it. Soup or salad. You could have had soup. They have all types of different soups each evening. Their soups are fantastic, and that was part of the opportunity. If you didn't want salad, you get soup. And some of the things they have on the 2 for $30 menu are as following: chicken parmesan with your choice of pasta. They have Italian-style meatloaf with sautéed onions, peppers, mushrooms, marinara sauce, parmesan, and a vegetable. They have baked ziti parmesan with a meatball. That's complete. Baked homemade lasagna that my friend had the other day. It was gigantic. Grilled marinated chicken with one vegetable. You have baked stuffed shell parmesan with a meatball. You have sauteed calf's liver. That I will never have, but if you like calf's liver, it comes with fried onions and a vegetable. Sauteed shrimp scampi over choice of pasta. That's complete. Of course, I talked about the roast turkey. And they have spaghetti with 2 giant meatballs. And the other nice thing is they have desserts. The dessert cake, I mean, with these meals comes ice cream or pudding for the dessert. But if you wanted to get a piece of cheesecake, it's $4.99. And they have additional soups like crab bisque and French onion. They're additionally $3.99 if you wanted to get those type of soups. So these are the things that the Queen restaurant has. And don't forget, they're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're open 7 days a week, 6:30 a.m. till 10 p.m. One of the prettiest restaurants in Vineland. Beautiful, beautiful restaurant. And it is here, and it's available 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Nice crowd this evening. When I got here, I had to park quite a ways away, which was nice. And the other thing I wanted to mention to you is they have Cedar Rose Winery. I put them together with Cedar Rose. So anytime you come, you can have your bottle of Cedar Rose wine. The bottle of blueberry is $32. One of my very favorites is the White Tail. It's a white wine. It is fabulous. It's $26. And then think about it, you probably get 5-6 glasses of wine out of the bottle. So, right there, it costs you about less than $5 a glass. They have the Driftwood for $26. Sunset Sangria sounds very interesting. That is $36. And they have a dry white for $26, a kindling dry red for $26, Chambourcin Rose for $28, Cabernet Sauvignon, that's $36, and Chambourcin Reserve is $30. So there are their choices of wines as well. So, they've got it all here. And folks, this is one of the prettiest restaurants you will ever see in Cumberland County. Bright, beautifully well decorated, beautiful paintings on the walls, and the staff is excellent. They really are. And Yelmont's and his people are very welcoming. Saw a lot of my friends here tonight. They came in and had dinner. The mayor came in early. He and his wife and daughter, they sat and they had their dinner before the mayor did the show with me. And, a lot of good things happening in the city of Vineland. This is certainly one that adds to it. But as you look around and you see the growth that's occurring, the Vineland Industrial Park is filled to the gills. And, they're actually looking for more land so they can put in more businesses. And what makes Vineland so nice is they have their own electric utility, which keeps the cost down for electricity. They also, he talked about tonight, the mayor, they've hired a company, Pinelands, to take care of the trash problems and trash program that they need here as well. And they have a downtown Vineland improvement district that helps all the businesses that are downtown, and there are many of them available. You got lots and lots of restaurants, and Al Shoes, of course, has been there for, 50, 60 years, Brian? I'm not sure exactly how many years, but they actually take care of you. They give you the shoes that fit the size you want. The prices are great, super selection, and it's personalized. It's personalized. That's what's very, very nice about Al's Shoe Store on Landis Avenue in Vineland. And we want to remind you, too, that we have the Cumberland County Commissioners meetings are televised live on Tuesdays, the second and fourth Tuesday of each month. So next Tuesday at 6 o'clock, we will be televising live the Cumberland County Commissioners meeting on Channel 22. We've been doing that now for several years. And somebody mentioned tonight about the newspaper. Unfortunately, the newspapers have changed the way they operate. When I was the mayor of Millville, we had 3 newspapers that came: Daily Journal, the Press of Atlantic City, and the Bridgeton Evening News. They were the 3 papers that came to cover us. Today, there are none. When I was a county freeholder, before they became commissioners, we had at least 2 that covered us. Now there are none. So what's happened, and in fairness to the newspaper business, as in the radio business, and even here with the TV business, it's hard to get advertisers, because what's happens a lot is the people just go to the cell phone and they put in what they want and it pops up. Like I did the car shows years back, and the car shows were very, very successful. We sold 40 to 50 cars on a weekend with the Channel 2 at that time automobile infomercials. Now people go on their cell phone, they put in the year of the car they want, the make of the model, and all that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden the price pops up, the location pops up. So it's a lot quicker than sitting and watching the hour show. Although our shows had some great people, Angelo DeRose and Ivan Nelson and many others who did great jobs, entertaining as well. And Gary Fisher, he was one of my favorites. He really, at Novik, they all work at Novik, they did such a really good job as well doing that. So, you know, we certainly want you to stay with us, check out our programming schedule. And we have everything we do now, though, folks, is on YouTube and Facebook. Years ago, I couldn't tell you how many people are watching Channel 22, nor can I now. We don't have the Nielsen rating system set up. But we can tell you how many people watched, for instance, Millville High School football last year. Over 500,000 people watched on Facebook and YouTube. And I think if I remember last year, the whole year, it was 2.4 million views that we had between Facebook and YouTube. So at least I can tell you, yeah, people watch, because here's the numbers. You can take a look at it. And, you know, whatever, the Christmas parade, another really popular thing. And there are a lot of things that people enjoy watching. And hopefully, you know, as you enjoy watching the mayor, you find out what's going on in the city of Vineland. You're not going to find that out in the newspaper. Unfortunately, papers have gone by the wayside pretty much. It's very difficult for them to function. It really is. So it's, again, it's advertisers, and where the advertisers are spending their money. A lot of it is on social media rather than on the newspaper business. And yeah, I do get the Daily Journal online still. I've never bought the paper, but I do get it online. Want to check and see, you know, what's going on, what's happening. So that's a way to find out. So at least they are doing online, but the stories are more of a wider area. They're more of all South Jersey rather than just Cumberland County, which is what I'm pretty interested in as well. So these are things that are happening. The times have changed, but yeah, it's just the way things happen. The computers, social media has become very, very popular. People are on, as I am often, checking out information. I have a medical situation I'm dealing with, and I just go online and I read about my medical condition. And what's really neat, too, is there's like a Facebook group that I can go on and look at the medical condition I have and read, and they answer questions. They tell you people have had it, what you can expect, what needs to be done, and things like that. And I do want to thank Dr. Roy at Inspira Oncology for her work with me during my problems that I have currently. And I want to thank Michael Cook, who's the other doctor that I deal with at the University of Pennsylvania. They're both very professional people, and I'm optimistic that they'll get me the medication and the procedure that I need to be able to lick this situation of what's happening with me at this point in time. But want everybody to know that we will continue doing our programming next week. Oh, that's right. Next Thursday night, I've got Joe Kondo. Mayor and I were talking about Joe earlier tonight. Joe was the campaign manager for the last 3 years for the Cumberland County Republican Organization. Joe, for the first time ever, with Joe and the great candidates that Mike Testa picked to run and the Republican Party picked to run, they swept Cumberland County 7-0, all Republican, and they won the sheriff's position and they won the surrogate position. Skip Luisi for surrogate, Mike Donato for the sheriff, and they now have, of the 10 elected officials in Cumberland County, 9 are Republicans. 1, Celeste Riley, is the only Democrat left in the county of Cumberland, and her position is up in November of next year, and the 2 county commissioners that are due to run for re-election next year, Tony Romero and Joe Cilio, their positions are up. What the Democrats will try to do, I'm sure they'll try to run a couple of candidates against it. But right now, the way that things have moved in Cumberland County, it's a total Republican county except for Celeste Riley. And that's hats off to Senator Testa and to the commissioners. I know how hard they work. Many of them are friends of mine, and I know they'll do a great job taking care of the people here in Cumberland County. And the mayor's election's coming up in November. I would bet all the money I have, if I were a betting man, on Mayor Fanucci getting reelected. And he's got a council that he's put together that's excellent. They work with him, which is really important as well. And of course, they've gotten a new trash caller with Frank Edwardi, and it's called Pinelands. And they're sure they'll do a great job for the people of the city of Vineland, so you know how things are working out there. So a lot of good things happening in Vineland, as we talked about the senior high-rises and stuff at East and Landis is filled. It's beautiful. Downstairs shops. The one where Newcomb Hospital used to be, that is totally finished and filled. They're building another one, Hans Lambert is, to get that up and running so more seniors will have a safe, comfortable place to live in downtown Vineland. So it's lots of good things happening. I want to thank Brian Dorowski for producing the show tonight. And I want to say hello to George Cuccia, who is in the rehab hospital. George, get well soon. I want to say hello to Tony Cerace, who's in Cooper Medical Center dealing with his issues. And Tony, we wish you the best and speedy recovery. An awful lot of my friends are, having some medical conditions, but I wish them well. Say a prayer for them if you will as well. Again, for Ryan Narowski, I'm Jim Quinn, and for Mayor Anthony Fanucci, we thank you so much for joining us here on Insight tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.